Division rivals get together for Game 2 at Marlins Park. The Major League leader in batting average reflects on his first 2 weeks with the Nats. And then Steven Strasburg takes the mound, looking to go 3 for 3 to start the season.
Trying to keep the challenges to a minimum and maybe break a 2-game losing streak. That's what the Nats are trying to do, with some supporters in attendance at Marlins Park tonight. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Roof is closed. Nice and comfortable inside. Maybe not the same feeling the hitters will have, because nobody's been comfortable against Steven Strasburg since about 2/3 through last season.
Well, it's funny. His only 2 starts this year have been against the Braves. So everybody for the Marlins asking me, he has a cutter now? He has a slider now? What? Yeah, on April 6th against the Braves, Steven Strasburg's first start, we saw the slider. We saw the cutter. All of a sudden, he's a 4/5 pitch guy, and he's had success with those pitches. The fastball command has been great. Everything off of that, 95, 97 miles an hour. You're seeing the nasty off speed with 2 strikes. But look for the Marlins to be swinging early tonight against Steven Strasburg. They don't want to get the 2 strikes.
And we always talk about sample size. Well, I think 12 starts is plenty to figure out what this guy's doing. 8 out of 10 decisions, the great ERA, the strikeouts to walks, everything going right. In a moment, we're going to have a really neat visit with Daniel Murphy. Very articulate guy who has seen changes in his hitting style over the last year or so. Leads the league in hitting, second in on-base percentage. Coming up, it's the Nationals' new second baseman. Welcome back to Marlins Park. Game 2 of the 4-game series. The Nats and the Fish tonight. And kind enough to spend a couple of minutes with us, Daniel Murphy, one of the newest Nats. You know, I talked to Mark Lerner on the last homestand. He said you were one of his favorite opposing ball players. You wanted to come to D.C. How comfortable is it to know that the ball club really wants you, and this is a place that you're so comfortable already?
That's definitely high praise coming from the owner. You know, I got to compete against this ball club for so long being in New York, and, you know, I've said it before, you know, I thought the foundation was already here and competing against them. It's a talented group. And then speaking to Mr. Lerner himself, you see how committed he is to winning. with some of the moves they've made in the offseason and signing a Jason Worth and a Max Scherzer. And, you know, I felt very fortunate and blessed to get an offer from this organization. My wife was excited to come to D.C. It's on the East Coast. It's Florida spring training. We're going to West Palm next year, where my wife is from. So it really was a true blessing to be able to come here to the D.C. organization.
You know the pitchers, but the pitchers know you. Any advantage to staying within the division, because with the unbalanced schedule, you play those other 4 teams so many times?
Yeah, I think part of it is definitely a familiarity with the travel. You know, we're here in Miami. I've been here many times. Very familiar with the hotels, the travel, and yeah, the opposing pitchers know me, and I know them. So it really boils down to you know, who's going to execute their plan that night, and hopefully you know, I can best them more times than not.
Now, during the playoffs last year, everybody knows about the numbers, the power you hit for. But one of the significant baseball things, Daniel, was the fact that you really started using right center and right field. I mean, you've always used the entire ballpark, but you were driving it more. Was that a conscious decision on your part? Did somebody suggest that? How did that process take place?
Yeah, Kevin Long and I and Pat Roster and the hitting coaches in New York, we kind of had a discussion about, you know, what are some of my skills in this game, and one of them is I don't swing and miss a lot, which can be a detriment sometimes when you don't swing at good pitches, because I put them in play weekly. And so you know, we decided that it was better to maybe move on the plate a little bit more and try to find pitches that I could pull in the air. And so that kind of led to, I think, me honing in my zone a little bit better, hopefully, and a little bit of spike in some of the power categories.
Did the success surprise you, the way things happened so quickly?
Well, yeah. I never think I was going to hit that many home runs, so I was very surprised. I came at a very, you know, a good time for, you know, for us in New York last year, and you know, hopefully I can carry some of that success over, you know, to this season. I think with Bryce hit like 5 in a row, so I don't know if I'm going to do that, but you know, hopefully we can carry some of that success over this year.
Yeah, if you're on base, you'll get your share. Speaking of Bryce, my final question for you. Watching him at the age of 23, what did you see playing against him? What do you see now as a teammate? Yeah,
playing against him, you feel like you have a grasp at how good he is and how good he's become in the short time he's been in the big leagues and at such a young age. But getting to see it on a daily basis, it just doesn't do it justice as a visiting player. I don't know. I'm kind of a baseball junkie, and like, he's just must-see TV. Like, I don't want to miss his at-bats. I tell all the guys on the team, you know, told him yesterday, it's like, if you guys need to use the restroom, feel free to use it during my at-bat, but don't use it during his at-bat, because he's just so much fun to watch.
You know, we enjoy the joy and the emotion with which you play the game. That's really struck us from upstairs in the booth. So here's to more woo-hoos, and that was good, and home runs and singles and everything. And thanks for the great start you're off to, and thanks for your time.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Daniel Murphy. Sluggers on display tonight. Giancarlo Stanton hit one against the Nats here last night. Marlins are still waiting for him to get warmed up. And then, of course, Bryce Harper on one of his hot streaks. Hard to pitch to, some would say impossible. Game 2 of the series. Nats at Miami. Straight ahead. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By T-Mobile. Get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by Eastern Lexus. Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid. Another gorgeous day in Miami. They closed the roof At about 4:30 or so, I thought we might have the roof open for a ball game tonight, but not happening. Neutral conditions. The ball does carry here well when the roof is closed. The Nats are hitting .251, 8th in the league, 9th in runs. Bryce Harper getting the job done so far in limited appearances against left-handed pitchers, but a couple of walks and 4 hits, 3 extra base hits. Bryce has been on base 11 of his last 12 games, and he leads the National League. He's getting a hit 2 out of every 3 times up there with runners in scoring position. And of course, Daniel Murphy leads the league at .415. The Nats face Adam Conley, 25 years of age, for the 3rd time.
Yeah, 2-seam, 4-seam fastball. The 2-seamer, the sinker, 88 to 92. The 4-seamer, 90 to 95. Slider change to go with it. Last start on the 13th against the Mets at Citi Field. 6 shutout innings, 2-1 loss. Got the no decision in that one. So a guy that used his changeup a lot more in his second start than he did his first start, and his fastball velocity up. Here's the defense behind Adam Conley. Yelich, Ozuna, Stanton, the outfield. Rojas, Prado, left side. Gordon Bohr, right side. And JT Realmuto behind the plate. Play ball.
Yeah, Nats not heartbroken to see a Danny Echeverria on the bench tonight. As Rojas gets a start, here's the first pitch. Taylor goes up hacking, and that's a fly ball to right center. Underway at 7-11, center fielder Marcell Ozuna makes the call. Trip Gibson is the junior member of this otherwise veteran crew. The crew chief, Jerry Lanes, at first, Hunter Wendelstedt second base, and Scott Berry at third. Marlins won their first home game last night. The Nats on the road still 4-2. And a 3-game lead over the Mets, who are throwing Logan Verrett at Philadelphia tonight against Vince Velasquez. And a lot of baseball fans remember what that young man did his last time out for the Phils.
Struck out 16.
Anthony Rendon has been on base 11 of 12 games. 1 for 5, hit a couple of balls hard here last night. And he's 2 for 4 against Adam Conley.
And kind of a funky delivery for the left-hander. 3/4 arm slot, has a tendency at times to fly open, but he's got a lot of Dontrelle Willis in him, where there's stuff flying all over the place, just kind of slings it.
And Rendon slings one to left center. Can Ozuna cut it off? He can. Anthony going for 2 anyway. It's a good throw, but not in time. Great swing by Rendon. He's at second with 1 out, with his 4th triple of, or rather double of the year.
Well, there goes the no-hitter. Anthony Rendon with a fastball on the outer third, pulls into left center field gap. Beautiful swing by the Nats third baseman. Marcell Ozuna cutting it off. I think he took a huge divot right by the warning track, and he was replacing it. Good hustle by Rendon. Nats in business. Let's see if Bryce Harper gets something to hit.
Yeah, first base open, lefty-lefty matchup. Marlins with that runner at second base really can't shift much here. But there's a base hit waiting through the shortstop hole. Target is in. Bryce rips it to the right side of the bag.
Nice play ball, the ball dude down there.
Yeah, I hope he knew that was foul before he got it.
Hit speed 130, and he makes a backhand play.
Well done, buddy.
That might take the inside fastball away from Adam Conley and JT Realmuto. He tried to get in there, and Bryce said, I ain't having it.
Bryce tied for first in the league with Nolan Arenado, 16 RBIs. And that's the most by any 2 hitters in the entire major leagues. Conley can bring it, and the Marlins got a hold of him during spring training this year, told him, hey, you can throw mid-90s. Let's see some more hard stuff.
Well, they told him that in August of last year. Hey, just let it rip. Quit feeling for it. Quit thinking out there. Just grab it, throw it as hard as you can. And all of a sudden, a beautiful thing happened along the way. He quit thinking. He started throwing strikes. His velocity went up. His slider got nastier.
Everything works off the fastball, right? Harper and Bryce got himself hopefully on the shin guard with that one.
Pretty large shin guard too, isn't it? You usually don't see him that big. Fastball in again from Conley, and Bryce hits it right off that red protector. Did its job.
Oh-2 with one out. Didn't look like a swing, and it's not a called strike, as Scott Berry says no swing. Pretty good 0-2 pitch. Just able to keep those hands out in front.
Well, he's fouling off some nasty pitches. He just looks so hitterish at the plate, so locked in. Even the tough pitches he's barreling up. The first pitch was off the plate in. He yanks it down the right field line. It was loud.
Here's the entire at bat from Mercedes-Benz. That borderline pitch down in a way that Bryce took. 1-2 again with one out. And bounces and gets through Real Muto. And so Anthony Rendon's at third base with one out.
Oh, now you have a chance to pick up an RBI. Kind of the mentality of the at-bat shifts for Bryce Harper, even a 2-strike count. Might have been a slider that he just held on to way too long, but maybe a fastball, I don't know. 90-foot mistake, Rendon to third. Now Bryce with a chance to score a run without a hit.
Like he did last night. 5th inning sac fly for RBI number 16.
Pick up a run.
And he got him with 83, breaking down and away. 2 outs. Conley now in the year, 12 Ks, 3 walks.
Let's see where the pitch is. Everything inside the whole sequence. It looked like just a little slider right there at 83.
Yeah, not a lot of break to it, did it?
Oh, maybe a changeup.
That was what I was thinking when I saw the replay.
That's a changeup.
Lefty changeup to a lefty batter.
Worked.
Next up is Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan, couple of RBIs so far. And he's 1 for 2 with a walk against Adam Conley. 1 for 4, base hit to right in his final AB last night. And that's a 3-hopper to D. Gordon. So the Nats had a runner at second and then third with one out. Couldn't convert. Steven Strasburg goes to work. .442. Looks like it would seat more than that. And the Marlins, a good hitting ball club. Batting average of .276, third in the league. Giancarlo Stanton has had some big numbers against Steven Strasburg. .406 The batting average with the 3 homers, the 10 RBIs, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. These two have battled, and here we go again tonight. Good looking lineup. And for Steven, 24th career start against Miami.
And first start against somebody besides the Braves this year. First 2 starts for Steven against the Braves. He won both times, 3-1, 6-2. Last start on the 14th, excuse me, 7 2/3, 2 runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks through 100 pitches. Fastball this year has been averaging 95 miles an hour.
D. Gordon, first inning, base hit last night, a steal, went to third on a balk, scored on a base hit. So Strasburg goes overpowering fastball, fouled up and away on the first pitch.
Well, we thought the Marlins would be aggressive tonight. There's no reason not to be. Strasburg has been throwing strikes. He's pounding the zone. You don't want to get to 2 strikes.
Good looking curveball there. 0-2.
Yeah, the curveball will be in the low 80s. The slider will be in the upper 80s. At times they're difficult to tell apart other than the speed.
D. Gordon is 5 for 21 career against Strasburg. 16 hits on the year. Came into the series batting .300. He's at .291 right now. Beauty. Another 81 hook for the first K of the game.
A good start for Steven. Couple of nasty curveballs to D. Gordon, so you see why D was swinging at the first pitch of the game. He didn't want to get to this count, and I don't think any hitter wanted to get to that pitch. Dirty.
Number 2 batter is Martin Prado. He was in the middle of things last night as usual. Steven's location very good so far. Fastball at the knees. Prado against him, 6 for 29. Well hit. And Ryan Zimmerman thought he had to jump more than he probably did, but able to hold that thing in the mid.
Did you see Daniel Murphy jump with Ryan Zimmerman? I mean, if we got a shot of that, this is priceless. Daniel Murphy behind him. Watch, if we can, Murphy behind him. He jumps with Ryan. Look at him. They both jumped up. A little body language for the Nats second baseman. Good stuff.
I tell you, Murph is something else.
Give him an assist there. I'm putting L4/3.
So ahead of another hitter. Kristen Yelich, first in the league in on-base percentage at .510.
Just at the defense for the Nats. Same as yesterday. Is it bad if I say that I think Daniel Murphy jumped higher than Ryan right there? That was probably the same. Probably the same. Ryan didn't have to jump higher. He knew how high the ball was. Murph was just channeling his inner hops over there to first base.
Hitting spots early, Steven Strasburg.
Stays down there at 96. It's going to be a long night.
So Murphy right behind Yelich on base. Dexter Fowler's been in the middle of that race. And then a couple of buckos, their catcher and their outfielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yelich's career against Strasburg, 4 for 22, 3 walks. The big man with big numbers on deck. Whoa, that's close.
Strasburg had a lead going back to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3.
Well, if you see that, hopefully he'll get the outside corner for some change-ups against lefties. Borderline pitch, and that'll get Stanton up in the first inning.
You make the call.
Well, pitch track says a little bit outside, or inside rather, just outside that box. That jersey's going to get a good soaking tonight. He might have to use more than one.
Fastball's loud, isn't it? I don't know if it's the acoustics in here or what, or the fact that it's mid to upper 90s, but ball is rocking Wilson Ramos's glove. Deep thud. Might tell you it's a heavy fastball.
Twirling that ball in his bare hand as he was checking the runner. Short lead by Yelich. 0-2 pitch. And he goes with the heater again.
You know, I like what he's doing to Stanton right here. You have to mix it up. You can't go fastball in, slider away. Fastball in, slider away. I mean, he knows what's coming. That's what most teams do to him. So you have to mix up your pattern to him. Double up on the fastball in. Throw him a fastball away. Off the plate for show. Really set up the curveball or slider. But how many times have you seen, whether it's the Nats or whoever, sinker in off the plate, slider away? As a hitter, okay, I'm diving out there now if you went sinker in because you're falling into a pattern.
Now, often you see a shortstop playing on the grass. Danny Espinosa is. Murphy shaded up the middle. Yelich extending that lead a bit on 1 and 2. Home it comes, and Ramos smothers it. Chance at second. Good throw, but too late. So Christian Yelich read the ball in the dirt and got himself into scoring position.
Well, it's good anticipation by the Marlins left fielder, Christian Yelich. Watch him anticipate. He just takes off as soon as that ball hits the dirt. Wilson Ramos was on it quick, but he's thinking no way he throws Stanton 2 fastballs in a row. He's got to throw a curveball here. So as a base runner, he was anticipating the pitch. He saw it in the dirt and took off immediately. That's a nice job getting in scoring position.
2-2 now. Nasty. Curveball ends up outside. It had so much break to it. So he strikes out 2 of the most dangerous fish, Gordon and Stanton, to bookend the bottom of the first. Three runs in the first off Tanner Roar. Daniel Murphy came up in the bottom of the inning. Bases loaded. Here's what happened.
Little answer from Daniel Murphy down the corner. Home opener. Everybody ready to rock and roll. Pretty quiet in the top of the first, but in the bottom of the first, another woohoo moment from Daniel Murphy. Cleared the bags with a triple, tied the ball game up. And who's that? Who's that getting in the box right now?
First home hit as a Nat was almost a grand slam.
Who's the new guy?
Well, we wanted a totally clean-shaven interview today.
Is that the new Masson policy? You can't do a pregame interview unless you shave? I mean, I kind of like the beard. He looks good, though.
Murphy, a 10-game hitting streak.
That's why we can't interview that guy. Ever.
That's fair. Jerry Lane had to skip out of the way before he could make the call. Deep in the corner, Stanton. And Daniel Murphy has another extra base hit.
Beard, no beard, clean shaven, it doesn't matter. He can hit.
So Murphy on the year, 2 home runs, 2 triples, and now 4 doubles.
I mean, he used to like stride and set the foot down early. Now he's spread out, and it's all he's doing is kind of lifting his heel up off the ground, the foot staying in place. The ball looks like a beach ball, and Daniel Murphy barreled to the baseball once again. Leadoff double here in the second.
11-game hitting streak.
There's no cheapies in the bunch, really. Maybe one to left I can think of, but it's been all barrel all the time.
And the 2 most relieved men in the ballpark are our producer, Chip Winfield, and myself, teaming up for that interview, because when you're talking to a hitter about how good he's going,
yeah,
and then he goes 0 for 4, you better not get in his way for the next couple days.
Yeah, they'll blame it on you.
So thank you,
time.
Daniel.
Yeah. Oh, he's just starting.
Jason Worth last night hit by a pitch first time and then punched out 3 times. Way inside. Worth 1 for 4 career against Conley.
He's trying to move Murph, and Conley's trying to bust him in. Jose Fernandez was good last night. Slider was unreal.
An emotional, sort of antic-filled night.
Yeah.
But he stuck around for 6 innings somehow. Nissan will track it.
What do we got? I think Jerry Lane's not feeling good, Carp. Look, he's kind of limping off the field. Is he okay?
Jerry Lane is not looking well as he walks into the Nationals dugout. Now, that double by Murphy, I was watching Jerry. He had to move very quickly, and then he landed, and then he made the call. So, don't want to speculate, but it might have something to do with that line drive that was hit very near him by Murphy.
Yeah, he had to spin quickly, get out of the way. Well, let's see, what do you got? How did he land on that right leg? All his weight on his right leg.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, he's one of the good guys.
28th year in the big leagues.
One of the nicest umpires in the big leagues.
So a 3-man umpire rotation right now. Worth will lift one high in there to the right side. That will get out of play. So the third base umpire, Scott Berry, is now near Murphy at second. And Hunter Wendelstedt heads over to the first base side.
Just have to hustle a little bit more, and the rotation changes with one less up.
And Jerry Lane's supposed to have the plate tomorrow night, so we wish him well, and we'll have to wait and see. Three and 2 to Jason Worth. Now, based on seniority, the crew chief would become Hunter Wendelstedt at first base. His 19th year, Scott Berry 11. (3-2) and a good at bat by Jason Worth. 2 on, nobody out. Wilson Ramos next.
Conley's so intent on not letting Jason Worth move the runner that he was missing off the plate in. Worth takes the walk. Nice job.
Wilson Ramos 1 for 4 against Conley. 0 for 4 last night. Still hitting .350. Here's where you want anything but that ground ball to the left side. And so with that in mind, Conley tries to pound him inside as well.
Well, it wasn't on my mind till you said it, but yeah. Stay up the middle the other way. Conley trying to bust him in. The Nats lefties are breaking everything. Bryce Harper broke the stadium on the homestand. Now Daniel Murphy broke an umpire with a double. They're doing some damage.
Well, that's about it tonight because Danny Espinosa will bat right-handed.
That's what I'm saying. Not just hitting, they're breaking things. Almost broke the dugout right there with his head.
On a pitch away to the corner, Ramos takes strike one. Ramos to the shortstop. 6-3 double play. Danny Espinosa, number 8 spot, runner at third.
The good thing is they're getting guys on. Now they just got to get them in. Let's see if Conley goes after Espinosa or he wants Steven Strasburg.
Danny 0 for 2 against the left-hander career, and this year right-handed, 5 at bats, 1 hit. Inside pitch, inside the numbers with Jeep. So the Nats, 56% of their 52 runs this year with 2 outs. Second time they've had a runner at third. Espinosa check swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny Espinosa has 6 hits this year. 3 of them have come with runners in scoring position in 7 opportunities, with 3 runs batted in. Pretty good fastball, 94, tailing to the outside edge.
Well, last night, John Mattingly walked Danny Espinosa. Tanner Roark walked, bases were loaded for Michael Taylor. What looked like a nothing inning because of the intentional walk had the Marlins flirting with disaster. Maybe that's why they're pitching to him here tonight.
Very close, and at times Tripp Gibson has had a narrow strike zone.
Looked in. He's setting it off the plate and he hit at the target, but he's setting it off.
Yeah, it always looks like a good pitch when he hits the catcher right in the mitt, but as you said, Real Muto off the plate. Now let's see where they go. Down and in. Did he swing? Yes. Hunter Wendelstedt punches him out. So the Nats had a leadoff double, and Conley has frustrated them for 2 innings.
first inning, but for the most part this year, Nationals starting pitchers have really scuffled in the first inning of ball games. Let's take a look at some numbers from the first 12 games of the season. A 7.5 ERA for National starters in the first, but from the second inning on, they've dominated, just 1.22 ERA. They've actually allowed more runs in the first inning of ball games than they have the entire rest of the games combined. 10 earned runs in 12 first innings compared to 9 in 66 and a third after that. Now, Tanner Roark has given up a few of those. Steven Strasburg is pretty smooth early on today. The first inning runs have not really affected the Nationals a ton. Obviously, you don't want to see those numbers, and the Nationals assume that they will kind of come back down over the course of the season. 5 of the Nationals' 9 wins have been of the comeback varieties, so even when they've been put in an early hole, they've done a good job of coming back, although Mike Maddox would like to see more clean firsts.
That's Dan with Kunz.com. Sideline report: over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Mike Maddox, you saw his starters for the rest of the series a moment ago: Joe Ross and Max Scherzer. It's Ross tomorrow night against Wei-Yin Chen, and then Scherzer against Tom Kohler Thursday afternoon. Justin Bour hitting .265. Pulls it, rolls it over right to Ryan Zimmerman. And Bour is 0 for 5 in this series.
I think you got a lot of starting pitchers with funky mechanics. It takes a minute to sync up. You know, Max Scherzer's delivery, he's got all kinds of stuff going on. Gio Gonzalez throughout his career has had trouble repeating his mechanics. I think he's been real good this year with the influence of Mike Maddox, smoothing out his delivery. And so trying to figure out a reason why. And maybe it's just as simple as it's a small sample size. You got to be ready. You're getting 1, 2, 3 right out of the gate every night. The 3 best hitters in every lineup. Yeah. So you got to be on your stuff coming out of the bullpen. And they're at the peak of their game too. They're amped up, ready to go.
There's Marcell Ozuna. Had the big hit of the game last night, the 2-run single that gave them a 3-run first. They were able to sort of cruise from there. That's a busted bat, but he's going to get a hit anyway on that, even if Murphy picks it up. Ozuna, very fast, would have beaten it out. That's his 10th hit of the year. He came in batting 196.
Yeah, he went way on the shortstop side here. That was going to be a tough throw for Daniel Murphy. Come out to Nats Park Tuesday, April 26th. Nats are playing the Phillies. They play them the rest of the season. The first 20,000 fans in attendance will receive a Teddy Plush window cling. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Yeah, kind of weird. The Nationals will play out of the league before they play out of the division. Twins in this weekend. Here's JT Real Muto, the catcher.
It's like spring training. You're playing the same 4 teams all spring.
Yeah, next spring 3 teams from the East will be within an hour of each other. And if the Braves come to West Palm, breaking ball right to Espinosa. Murphy turns it 6-4-3. Nats with their 13th double play of the year. We're scoreless with Strasburg about to lead off.
Miller time later in tonight's ball game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Each team has turned to double play. Nats have a couple of hits. Steven Strasburg will lead off, and when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Trey Turner is the International League Player of the Week. Now, he's had a couple of offers his last 2 games, but he's been very impressive. Hitting nearly .370, on base percentage almost .470. 4 extra base hits, he can burn it. In 27 games, late last year with the Nats.
Do you remember when you used to say he can really book?
He can book. So he can go, huh?
He could totally book.
Now we say he is so sick on the bases.
He was booking, man. Did you see how fast he was running?
0-2 and Strasburg out. Strikeout number 3 by Adam Conley. So the first time through the order, the Nationals go 2 for 8 with a base on balls. Michael A. Taylor was first pitch fastball hunting when he flew to center to start the game. Eight for 46 on the year. Up in the zone. Strike 1. And then a good job by Conley of turning one over on the right-hander.
Motorin was another one.
Ball in, Chip Gibson said. That's not inside. 3 Ks in a row. 4 in the game for Adam Conley.
I think Michael Taylor's argument is that's the same pitch. Let's see what pitch track has to say. The 2 last pitches. What do you got? So pitch number 4, where's pitch number 5? And Michael Taylor had a legitimate argument. It's the same exact pitch in the same exact spot. One was a ball, one was a strike. That'll drive a hitter nuts. Nuts.
Up there hacking Rendon, Anthony, with a ringing double to the gap in left center, first time up. Went to third on a wild pitch, but Conley came up big, striking out Bryce on a big curveball before Ryan Zimmerman bounced out. So Rendon now on base 12 of his last 13 games. Hitting .280. Adam Conley gets the ball back. He's ready to roll, but Rendon stepped out.
What do you got on Mark the Bird Fitteridge right there? Pretty close. Huh?
Yeah, I can see some of that. To the left side. Forward to get it, Martin Prado. Nats go quickly. In the top of the third on 2 strikeouts and a bouncing ball, and the bats are quiet in South Florida.
Military Appreciation Day is part of the season's patriotic series presented by SAIC. All active duty, dependent, reservists, and retired military members can receive 2 complimentary tickets per game with military ID while supplies last. Tickets will be available at Nats Park ticket windows on Potomac Avenue beginning at 4 p.m. Phillies 7:05. I was booking to get through that read.
A little breezy outside tonight.
It's blowing out there. Straight down inside.
Here's Miguel Rojas. Echeverria getting the night off. He's 5 for 26 against Steven Adaney is. Miguel Rojas 2 for 3. Echeverria hitting .229, so maybe a night to quit grinding and relax a bit, although he always seems to be pretty solid against the Nats.
Good slider right there, 88.
Rojas, Conley, and then D. Gordon. Strasburg first 2 innings, 24 pitches, 16 strikes. Right in on the hands. Pretty good jammage right there to the first base back Zimmerman. 1 out. Now the pitcher Conley, 0 for 3 this year and 4 hits in his major league career.
Saw the effects of the wind blowing straight down right there. Ball not carrying it right.
It came down. Adam Conley is from Olympia, Washington. Went to Washington State. All Pac-10 there.
The closer his sophomore year. Bunch of saves and then decided I want to be a starter. So he's got that closer mentality on the mound.
4 for 21 as a big leaguer with an RBI and 4 sacrifice bunts. And then Strasburg goes backdoor to bring in the breaking ball. He's at a sharp curve. Got him. Near the outside edge. 3rd strikeout. 2 down.
37 times 3, that's $800. Now it's time for Toyota K's for Kids. The Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season.
You know, whatever amount we say on the air, that's what they have to pay.
All right. I feel powerful.
D. Gordon struck out swinging. Strasburg got him with a curveball. Under his hands, ball 1 here. Might have been the first changeup. 88. Straight in, straight down. Then he doubles up.
PD shaking his head right there, thinking, oh, man, it's a good pitch.
I mean, that's just power pitching right there. Over the plate, down a bit. Gordon couldn't get to it. Mercedes-Benz.
Well, he struck him out on a couple of nasty curveballs, and maybe D. Gordon's got that in the back of his head. That was a 2-1 fastball, 95 by him.
Was that the first slider?
That might have been a changeup that he just left up. He's thrown a few sliders, though, already.
Whoa, that's up and in with a 94 heater, 3-2. Don't want to walk this guy because it can turn into a 2-out double in a hurry. And then you're dealing with a contact guy, Prado, with a runner in scoring position.
I'll tell you, he's swinging. 1 walk and 57 plate appearances. Some guys just get to 3-2 and they're so convinced it's going to be a strike. They're very aggressive in the count.
2-out walk.
Boy, a little cut to it at 95.
Well, last night, Gordon went early in the count, first inning. As Tanner Roark didn't look at him a whole lot, went straight home and off he went. So let's watch the Strasburg hold'em strategy here. Martin Prado hit that wicked line drive to Ryan Zimmerman first time up.
I'd love to see a stat that says how many throwovers D. Gordon saw last year or in his career. They keep track of that?
I'm sure they do.
He's got to
lead
the National League in throwovers, doesn't he?
I mean, we have a stat for everything.
Somebody in their mom's basement's got to have that stat. Gordon jumping out there trying to get attention, maybe trying to cause a balk. Is that 3?
Yeah, and you know, you talked about this. The thing with the throwovers, there has to come a point when he's not going to throw it over again. But when you hold the ball like Scherzer and now Ross are doing that, the runner kind of doesn't have any idea what's going to happen. But Stevens gone ahead and thrown it over 3 times. Of course, there's no count yet, so you can go 5 or 6 times if he wants. And he delivers a strike.
Boy, he quick pitch right there. D. Gordon didn't even get off in his secondary lead. He just stood there flat-footed. So Strasburg had him way off rhythm. There was no shuffle on the pitch. He just stood right where he's standing right now as the pitch crossed home plate.
Gets the call with 94 out there. 0-2 to Prado.
This is impressive because he's paying a lot of attention to D. Gordon. And a lot of times as a pitcher, when you pay a lot of attention to a plus runner, you can lose your focus at the plate. So Steven Strasburg controlling the running game and throwing strikes to Martin Prado is huge.
Gordon still at first base, 2 outs. Holding. And a ball hit pretty well to center. Taylor there. A lot of room in this ballpark for those. 3 scoreless innings for Steven Strasburg. Bryce Harper highlights our Freight Railworks do-up. And Bryce on base 11 of his last 12 games. Up at the top of the league in just about every category there is. Came in hitting .341.
Inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid. All-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com tonight. Beautiful lights of the ocean front here in Miami. Maybe 3 miles to the west, Marlins Park. Little Havana neighborhood. Nats fans waiting for some offense.
Nats fans crushing.
In 12 innings in this series, the Nats have scored 1 run on 8 hits.
Look out.
Very close to hitting Bryce. Bryce in the series is hitless, but he has a walk and a sac fly, 0 for 3 overall. Inside the numbers, tail of the tape, clash of the Titans. Giancarlo, bigger than almost everybody in baseball. Homers a little more frequently than Bryce in his career and hits it a little bit farther. 2 great sluggers in the same division. Hoping to watch these guys for a long time.
He's still got the 100 on his bat, and I speculated at the time that it was for 100%, not 100 homers. And everybody had fun saying, oh, he's got a 100 homer thing on his bat. It's how he plays the game every night. Or it just wouldn't come off. One of those two. Or it's a tribute to Johnny Holiday. One or the other. I can't figure it out.
Wow. Studio lights just went on. Harper struck out again. Curveball first time, fastball that time. That's 5 tonight for Adam Conley.
Got a live fastball, man. It's spinning when it gets up there. It's every bit of 92, 93, 94 when it gets to the plate. And he's just so lanky that he's reaching out there, getting that whip at the end, that fishing pole effect where he's getting a lot of rotation on the ball, and it's a heavy fastball, a lot like Strasburg's.
Ryan Zimmerman, a little bit late first time, bounced out to the right side, and that's a breaking ball that comes breaking straight down. So Ryan, 9 for 36. Harper had struck out 4 times in the first 12 games, and Conley has him twice tonight.
Got a good work rate, getting it and going, good tempo with his catcher. He's ready to go right now.
Strikes out Zimmerman with 84. And he's now fanned 5 of the last 6 Nationals. And that was after the double play ball.
Well, that kind of got him going when you think about it. Rendon doubled his first time up. Then Murphy led off the second with a double, a walk to Jason Worth, and then the 6-3 double play. And ever since then, cruise control for Adam Conley. It's like he's getting into his rhythm.
Daniel Murphy got around one, pulled one down the first base line for a double. evidently hurting Jerry Lane as he spun to get out of the way, and the crew chief had to leave the game. Ball 2.
Just tell by the swings and fastball counts. That might have been a slider right there. But the fastball right now from Conley is overpowering. I just think he's so relaxed all of a sudden. He's getting that little whip out there with his release point. He's got a very loose, quick arm right now, and the ball's jumping. Might have been a little tense early on, but that's not the case right now.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Part of the bat is fair. The rest of it's in Murphy's right hand, and the ball goes foul.
Well, go pick your winner.
Yeah, I don't know how many knocks he had with that bat. He was 2 for his last 3.
Yeah, that new bat has no pine tar, and he's got to get that Moda stick that's kind of compressed pine tar, rub it all over the handle, make it nice and sticky. And Jason Worth has the pine tar rag. Do you want it? No? Okay, here we go. It's personal preference. Some guys like the pine tar rag. It's a little more oily. The Moda stick is a little more sticky. Some guys don't like the feeling of the Moda stick in your hands because the bat doesn't rotate with your gloves. It kind of sticks to them.
Murphy off Bohr, actually over Bohr, off Gordon, and Daniel Murphy is sneaking hits through the infield now.
It didn't matter if D. Gordon got this or not because Adam Conley didn't break the first base. So once Bohr went for it, if Gordon got to this baseball, it was a base hit either way. Pitcher wasn't covering. Just standing on the mound right there, never got over. So this is a base hit either way. I mean, it's almost breaking news right now when Daniel Murphy doesn't get a hit.
Batting .442, by the way. Here's Jason Worth. So Murphy has 2 of the Nationals' 3 hits.
See, Jason Worth likes the traditional pine tar in his bat. See how much more dark it is up at the top, for those of you that don't know.
Off speed had him out ahead.
That needs some rosin on it so that it compresses a little bit and is not too slippery. So pine tar, rosin, dirt is usually the choice.
His best rip of the series right there. Counts 0-2 with 2 outs.
Still gets stingers in that left wrist every once in a while when he takes a hard hack. He might be trying to shake it out.
Catcher moving outside, off the plate. He missed over the plate, and Worth pops it out of play. Mets have a 5-0 lead at Philadelphia. Nationals are 3 games up on them. These Marlins broke a losing streak of 4 with a victory over the Nats here last night.
Don Mattingly putting on the throwover sign. Dusty Baker sending signals to Bob Headley, his third base coach. That was good stuff. All kinds of signs.
Oh, 2 and Worth strikes out for the 4th time in this series. So the Nats still having a hard time scoring runs in this big ballpark.
Strikeouts and double plays. We're going to show you a few. Bryce Harper on a nasty slider first time up. Then Wilson Ramos with runners on first and second, nobody out, hits into the 6-3 double play. Steven Strasburg, he's had his share of strikeouts so far. I got 1, 2, 3. And then how about a double play? A little 6 to 4 to 3. So strikeouts and double plays.
42 pitches, 28 strikes by Steven. Get ahead 88 right there to Christian Yelich, who he walked first time on a borderline pitch. Yelich pulls it. Ryan Zimmerman getting behind it. Over to Strasburg. And for more on our skipper, we haven't talked about Dusty in a while. Dan, go ahead.
Bob, you look over at Dusty Baker at some point throughout the game, chances are he's going to have a toothpick in his mouth. He does right now. I asked him earlier today, how many of those do you go through during a given game? He said, it varies. I said, all right, give me the range. He kind of smiled and said, well, you know, a blowout game, maybe somewhere in the 4 to 5 range. It could go anywhere up to as many as 12, he said. Those are the more stressful games, maybe extra innings, a lot of challenges like we've had the last couple days. So Dusty Baker pops those things in. They get a little worn down. He'll put in a new one. They're mint flavored. He likes them.
There goes one. Part of it. Giancarlo Stanton gashing one to right center. Second shot, a short hop off the wall. And Giancarlo Stanton starting to come alive. 3 hits in the series now. His second extra base hit. That ball was crushed.
Oh, it usually is with this guy. He doesn't hit him soft. Stayed on that curveball from Steven real nice. Drills it in the gap. When he's going that way, he's dangerous. Look out. Especially on the off speed. First double of the year for Stanton.
Yeah. Only his 4th extra base hit. Justin Bour bounced out to Ryan Zimmerman first time up. Shift on. Daniel Murphy a good 30 feet out into right field.
Bour has been going the other way a lot more this year than in the past, and the Nats have this big shift on. We'll see how it works. You could tell what a hitter's thinking after the swing. Did you see where Moore was looking after? I mean, he swung through that fastball, but he was looking right at shortstop as soon as he finished his swing. Then I'll tell you, he's thinking about hitting a ground ball to short. He knows if he hits a ground ball to short, it's 1-0 Marlins.
Board getting time from Trip Gibson.
Yeah, 6 hits to left.
Yeah, how about that? Twice as many to left as the other two combined.
And then you have a shift on against a guy throwing 97. We'll see how this works.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder about shifts. Does it take away from pitches that a guy would normally want to throw to get a certain hitter out?
I think you just pitch your game if you're Steven Strasburg and not, you're really not thinking about pitching to your defense. That's a lot to process, I think.
Well, I'm talking about pitching to a hitter. Maybe if you've gotten him out away before, doesn't matter. They're 94, a great fastball. I'm just wondering if the shifts sometime limit a pitcher to what he can throw.
Well, we've seen examples where you just throw a guy away and you're playing him to pull, so I don't know. Yeah. That's just good old-fashioned country hardball from Steven Strasburg and Justin Bour. Here's my heater. See if you can hit it.
Marcelo Zuna. Yeah, that ground ball past the mound first time. Strasburg busted his bat, but he placed it well. Murphy got a glove on it, base it all the way, and then the double play by Rio Muto ended the second inning. So it's 0-3-0 Nats. They've left 3. 0-2-0 Marlins. They've stranded 2. This one to short. Couple of big hops for Danny Espinosa. He's got a gun. We're going to the 5th inning. Ramos, Espinosa, and Strasburg coming up. Steven pitching beautifully. Top of the 5th. Minnesota Twins are in this weekend. Joe Mauer. They got some young stars. Miguel Sano and Byron Buxton celebrate the first 3-game weekend series of the year. Pups in the Park Saturday. Kids opening day Sunday. Nationals.com for tickets when Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins come right back to Nationals Park. And Gio will be in action.
If it really spiced it up, it would be like Grizzlies in the park. Lions in the park.
They tried that in Rome, didn't go real well.
Spiced it up though.
62 pitches, 40 strikes for Adam Conley. Wilson Ramos on a pitch away, taking it that way.
Boy, he's mixing it up nice. I mean, he's throwing a slider, not falling into patterns. It's not just like he's laying 2-1 fastballs in there. Pitching.
Ramos high in the air, deep right center. Ozuna on to the track. Wilson Ramos hit that ball about 395. 2 more here in Miami. Ross tomorrow night, Scherzer Thursday afternoon. Then the Twins are in. WUSA 9 joins us Friday. Matinees on Saturday, Sunday. Pups in the Park, Kids opening day, Saturday, Sunday. And here on Mass and Nats Extra, before and after every ball game. Here's Danny Espinosa, struck out swinging first time. Espinosa out that way. Giancarlo Stanton. 2 outs. Next up, Steven Strasburg. 142 career hitter coming in. 0 for 6 this year. Very impressed by Adam Conley. Second rounder back in 2011. And so the pitcher's going to get on. For a moment, looked like Ozuna wanted to throw out Strasburg from center field the way he was charging.
Well, he's still looking. He was definitely thinking it. You were on top of that, Carp. He was coming in hard. He was thinking about throwing it out, but Strasburg was hustling down the line. Nice swing by the Nats pitcher.
So Steven 1 for 6 on the year.
He likes hitting lefties, he'll tell you. Boom. Look at, he's thinking about it. Took a peek.
Now that would be embarrassing to get thrown out from center field. Michael A. Taylor coming into this game had been on base 6 of the last 8 games. Thought last night might get him going with a walk, a double, and then he went opposite field for a base hit in the 7th inning. But then he tried to steal, and with Bryce Harper on deck, Rendon lined out, and suddenly that was pretty much it for the offense the rest of the night. Eight strikeouts for Adam Conley halfway through the game. It's all pitching in Miami tonight. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. Well, whether at home or on the road, Steven Strasburg pitching well these days. 51 pitches, 35 strikes, 2-hitter through 4 with 4 strikeouts, couple of walks. PNC Bank for the achiever in you. And yeah, a lot of cheese the Marlins will see in this series. Strasburg tonight. Max Scherzer during the day game on Thursday. Strikeouts per 9 innings over the last 4+ years. Joe Ross in between tomorrow night.
I like watching Max pitch for a number of reasons, but one of my favorite things is you just don't know what you're going to get from him every 5th day, meaning that it could be the changeup one day is his main pitch. The fastball could be coming out at 95 early. Some days it's fastball slider combination. Some days it's fastball curve. Some days it changes his best secondary pitch, and it's kind of, what is it going to be today? It's always good, but the mystery of what feel he has for his off speed is always interesting to me every 5th day. Some days it's all 4, and then you just pack it in. That's when you get the perfect games and the no-hitters and same seats and all that stuff. We got all 4 jumping out of his hand. Good luck.
JT Real Muto, the 6-4-3 double play ball that ended the 2nd inning.
Steven's got one of those nights going. Everything he's throwing is first strike, whether it's a slider, curve, change, fastball. He can throw any pitch he wants right now in any count. The Marlins know it. Can't just sit on the fastball. That was a 92-mile-an-hour slider if you're keeping track at home. 92 on the slider. .90 on the slider.
Yeah, good location. That's a good take by Real Muto on a 2-strike pitch.
Slider, cutter, I don't know. It's going away from him. It's a tough pitch. Good frame by Ramos trying to get that call.
And a 2-2 popped up well out of play.
The one thing we really haven't seen tonight, I should backtrack a little bit, is the devastating exploding changeup with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
He threw a few that he left up. I don't know that he's gone back to it, but fastball, curve, slider have been great. Whoops.
There's the changeup, 89. So Real Muto, Santangelo, and Carpenter all struck out on that pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best change he's thrown tonight. He's thrown a few good ones. And this time, after showing Real Muto fastball, slider, curveball, he goes with the changeup. Way out on the end of his fingers. Good downward movement.
It's great on that slow-mo to see that tumbling action. Here's Miguel Rojas, popped up to Ryan Zimmerman first time up.
Slider.
Yeah, gets the edge of the strike zone with that one. Miguel Rojas, 27 years of age. He was part of that Dodger deal that brought Dee Gordon and at that time Dan Herron, the former Nat, over here in December of 14. Danny Espinosa to his left. Just such a pleasure to watch him gun that thing over. 2 outs. Conley, the pitcher, will be next. Trying to return the base hit favor.
Slider.
Hasn't missed many, has he?
I hear how loud that is. I mean, that means it's every bit of 94. I mean, it's a heavy fastball tonight. It's been a heavy fastball since he came off the DL for the 2nd time last year. just staying on line. His front side's closed. He's throwing through the target, and the ball is just exploding through the strike zone.
1-2 with 2 outs. Nothing but heaters after the first pitch. And Strasburg has struck out 6. Conley has fanned 8. Looking like a pitcher's park tonight.
No score as this one flies into the top of the 6th inning. Daniel Murphy, the hit machine, the hit collector, professional hitter, whatever you want to call him, is staying absolutely on fire. I mean, look where that pitch was. It was up and in. He pulled his hands in, got the barrel of the baseball for a double his first time up, and then just flips one into right. Adam Conley not covering, so it didn't matter if D. Gordon got it. 2 for 2. Beard, no beard, doesn't matter. He can hit.
Well, he'll bat if anybody gets aboard, and there's no double play in the 6th inning. Rendon, Harper, and Zimmerman, these are the guys you won up in a close ball game. And here we go, top 6.
All right, change seats, rally hats, here we go.
Anthony Rendon, a double in the first. Murphy one leading off the second. And then that hit you just saw. Strasburg a clean single in the 5th. That's the extent of the offense.
Dusty, I think, changed seats, didn't he? He used to be by the bat rack. Now he's trying to switch it up down at the other end.
Yeah, and he took some coaches with him.
Changing it up. Got to do it at home, too.
Rendon can't reach that one away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rendon 2 for 5 or 2 for 7 in the series, 1 for 5 last night.
In and out with the fastball, up and down with the same pitch. Sliders backdoor to righty. Sliders starting on the plate, breaking in on him. Just don't know what zone to look in off this guy right now.
Rendon right off the end of the bat. Board does it himself. First out, 6th inning. Well, matchup number 3 between Conley and Harper now.
Do you even mess with Bryce here if you're the young left-hander? You had success, right? A couple of strikeouts. Do you get brave and go for 3? In a 0-0 game in the 6th? Getting late.
Yeah. Harper will pull one, and that ball is caught by Giancarlo Stanton, finishing with a slide. That's 3 bags if he doesn't make that play. 2 outs.
Well, he wanted the fastball away. He left it on the inner third. And Bryce thought he had at least a single, maybe a double. And this might be a byproduct of Adam Conley throwing a lot of strikes and working fast because Stanton was on his toes. He got a good jump. And he made a sweet running catch in a 0-0 game. 2 of the better defensive right fielders on display here tonight in my mind. Nice play.
Conley's been keeping the ball away from Ryan Zimmerman. Ground ball the other way. Swinging strikeout. 1st inning, 4th inning.
T1 up, let it rip.
Ryan 1 for 4 with a walk against Conley career. And into right for Giancarlo Stanton. 15 innings in this ballpark for the Nats. 1 run. What a game tonight. Well, no runs on the board. 6 combined hits in the game. Here's D. Gordon leading off, bottom of the 6th against Steven Strasburg. 65th pitch of the night is his 46th strike.
You see what Jeffrey Loria, Marlins owner, did for D. Gordon today? Got him a big gold medallion with the Marlins M on it in a 333 to commemorate his batting title last year.
Yeah, he had a great season. Edged out Bryce in the very final week.
Mr. T starter kit, first edition. It's huge. Bigger than a gold medal. But it's cool. He's got something to wear around town to get into clubs for free. Excuse me.
Steven has really mixed it up well against Gordon tonight.
Wear that medallion. Excuse me, batting champ. Out of waiting lines.
How many tables you need?
The whole place. Do you see my medallion?
There's that changeup. Foul tip. Ramos picked it. And Steven Strasburg has fanned 3 of the last 4 Nissan tracks.
So third time around, he's starting to incorporate the changeup a little bit more. Getting a feel for it, as they say.
Martin Prado 0 for 2. Line drive to first. Fly ball to center. He's hit it pretty hard twice. Curveball has him bailing. Marlins box, only a couple of hits. Ozuna infield hit second inning, wiped out on a double play. And the double by Giancarlo Stanton to the gap in right center, 4th inning. That is a bullet to the outside edge.
Well, I mean, you fall behind 3-1, and what do? You throw the fastball, but you just don't chunk it right down the middle. Watch him locate right here. 95 to a corner. That's just good stuff. He's not just throwing his fastball. It's jumping, and it has command. He's putting it wherever he wants.
3-2 with 1 out. That curveball had so much break. Prado hit it off the top of the barrel.
Well, if you're Martin Prado, you got to be all in on the heater, and whatever else he does, just fight to foul it off or put it in play.
Yeah, there's the heater up the middle. Espinosa tried to make the exchange. Prado will probably be given a hit. That ball took 4 hops before Danny could get to it.
I think he had a chance. I mean, not an easy play by any means, but on the transfer, he knew he had to hurry. Prado doesn't run that well, so he had time. And with his arm, it was going to be close at first base. And with his ability, I think he had a chance. Just had the rush because, like you said, the ball was on the ground a while.
So after a 1-out hit, here's Christian Yelich, 0 for 1 with a base on balls.
They've been pounding him in all night.
Two 2-0, danger on deck here, 6th inning.
Lenny Harris with a long look into Don Mattingly, giving a set of signs. Christian Yelich bearing down on his third base coach. And he just gave a little glance to Martin Prado at first base. Do you dare go hit and run right here? Got a lot of staring going on. Sometimes as an opposing manager, that's the kind of stuff you look for when you're trying to steal a sign, not so much the sign itself.
Yelich more walks than strikeouts so far. 1 walk tonight. 2-0 pitch, so he's been making some contact. That's in the air to center. Taylor An important second out, and the big man walking in.
I'll tell you what, Carp, you were down by the cage today, and it was some display of greatness. Dusty Baker down there, Davey Lopes, Don Mattingly, Barry Bonds, Andre Dawson, Tony Perez, Ichiro was in a group, Stanton down there. And you're just standing around the batting cage before the game today going, I'm not worthy. I need to get out of here. You guys are too good. I mean, there was great former players everywhere today as both teams kind of met behind the cage. And I'm just sitting there in awe of the greatness that was around the batting cage today.
Yeah. I'm thinking, you know, we're in the presence of like 15,000 hits right here.
Yeah. Frank Menachino. I had to throw my former teammate in there just because.
He'll be pleased to see this tape. Strike one to Stanton.
Chris Spire. I mean, you don't want to leave anybody out, but I mean, there was Hall of Famers and studs everywhere. Pretty good team in the early 80s. Tony Perez.
Yeah, Jeff Conine up there behind him to the left. There's the Niner.
He wasn't by the cage. You're out of throwing him in
No.
there. Looking sharp, though.
Oh, 1 pitch popped up right below us. There's the Hawk.
It's a Hawk.
Glad they pulled him out of that ivy. He's looking good.
He's the best.
That was a great commercial.
He left a couple of knees on that turf in Montreal, I'll tell you that.
MVP for a last place club he was 1 year in Chicago.
Seriously, it's like they came out of the cornfield to watch batting practice today. It was amazing. But they're always here. They're part of the staff.
That one way out in front of Ramos, and Wilson really a great job to deaden it and keep it close enough.
He deadened it with his bare hand, I believe. See if it gets him in the meat hand. Yeah. It's a huge play in a 0-0 game in the 6th.
One-two to Stanton. Strasburg down low with the changeup to get him out. Pulling out the local. Third time around the batting order. Look at that tumble, and we are going to the 7th inning.
Tightened it up today, though. 0-0 as we go to the top of the 7th. Bud and Burger packs presented by Budweiser on sale right now. Get a Thursday, Friday, Saturday game ticket plus a beer and a burger starting at just $35. Some restrictions apply. Visit nationals.com/Bud and Burger. Hi.
Giancarlo's hit a few up there over his time here. Marlins Park opened up in 2013. And Murphy goes up, first pitch swinging. Ozuna out there, not even making it to the track in this big yard. 1 out.
Snooze. He made it out.
Murphy 3 for his previous 4 coming into that at bat. And here's Jason Worth, who has walked and struck out, looking for his first base hit of the series. I've been sitting on 199 for a while. Hit that mammoth home run at home last week. Our crew trying to spread some expectation karma wherever they can.
Going toe-to-toe with the big right-hander for the Nats.
Yeah, he's gone toe-to-toe with everybody tonight. 82 pitches through 6 innings coming in. It's been a weird series for the Nats. They didn't get a hit last night till the 5th inning. They had 2 hits in a row by Taylor and Rendon. Since then, not 1 inning with more than 1 hit. Ball in, says Trip Gibson. There's a changeup. So he goes off speed, fills the count. Jason this year, 13 strikeouts, 6 walks. And he checks one to left center. See this one out of here. Number 200 for Jason Worth, and it was absolutely roasted to left center.
#200th home run of Jason Worth's career, and it was huge. They got to get that baseball, don't they? That's number 200. I think it hit a pink flamingo. Maybe took out a Pinocchio dolphin. I tell you what, this park has frustrated Jason Worth more than any ballpark throughout his career.
Ramos high in the air to left center. Near the scoreboard and out of here. A wall scraper. 2-0 Nats. That's 800 feet of home runs right there.
Double horns, back-to-back jacks. First Jason Worth, then Wilson Ramos. The Buffalo strikes. 2-0 Nats. Here's Jason Worth. He pured this one, folks. Just a low tracer that got out of here in a split second. And then, well, we'll look at that one again. Get a little excited here. I'm sure we're going to have a look at Wilson. Okay, there's the ball. I think that's a free game, by the way.
Yeah, they'll find it.
And then Wilson Ramos backs it up with another home run. And this one hits the top of the fence and bounces the Nats' way. So back-to-back taters. Worth, Ramos. Jason's telling everybody how he did it. And that woke everybody up.
Danny Espinosa goes up hacking. Long run for Giancarlo Stanton toward foul ground. And he's got it for the 2nd out, 7th inning. Steven Strasburg will bat, and he has the lead as the Nats hit their 14th and 15th home runs of the year.
DC Lexus dealers are donating $500 for those 2 jacks to the Children's National Health System for every Tater and Nats player hits this season. Keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Marlins have a new pitcher in their bullpen, and Strasburg is 2 for 3. All right, now we can stop talking about the lack of runs per innings here, because the Nats have made huge noise here in the top of the 7th.
Well, I'll tell you what, Adam Conley pitched a great game tonight, but he's beat right now. And I don't know if you could go stall a little bit more. I don't know how long Don Mattingly's going to leave him in here, but he's gassed. Here, Jose Lobaton, great audio right there. Let's go, man, let's go. Fired up, just like we are.
By the way, you saw Nick Whitgren in the bullpen because they placed Edwin Jackson on the DL today. Called up another right-hander.
So I guess the question is, do you get the home runs mixed up out there? Because one's a milestone. That's Jason Worth's 200 home run, and I think it's right in the middle of the screen there by those 2 blue lights.
Yeah. Ramos is on the floor back there behind the scoreboard.
And Jason
somewhere.
definitely gets a free round of miniature golf for that. Hit it in the clown's mouth.
Taylor down the left field line. That's going to one-hop the wall. Strasburg to third, and the Nats are coming up with a barrage of extra base hits here.
And he was done 2 hitters ago, and Don Mattingly is leaving him in.
Anthony Rendon coming in.
So Michael Taylor joining the hit parade here in the 7th inning. Looks like he got a slider, pulled his hands in nice, drove it to left field. Little elevation. That's the 3rd home run of the inning. He'll settle for a double.
That'll be it. The end came quickly. Nick Whitgren will get the call. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by the UPS Store. Together, there's nothing we can't solve. Visit the UPSstore.com for locations.
Get my ball. Where's my ball? Somebody find my 200th home run ball. And I think they might have it. There's somebody walking up the stairs. We're going to show you where it landed again. So tracking, hits the artwork, bounces around, tilt, free game. It's right under there. So I know where it is. Just can't see it. And they're trying.
Yeah.
No, it's in. It's over.
Now he's pointing
It's
to the
over
Ramos
there.
ball.
Oh, they're looking. No, that's Ramos's. Hey, that's Wilson's. The 200th one is in the pinball machine to your left. No, to your left. This way. Can he see this?
They'll find it.
I hope so.
I mean, that's a work of art out there. It's gotta be found.
It's got a 200th home run in there. You gotta find it. He'll get it.
Congratulations
Yeah.
to Jason Worth. Here's Anthony Rendon. And there are two important more runners out there. Rendon 1 for 3 tonight. Nit Whitgren. He pitched in 4 games at AAA New Orleans.
Yeah, I have no data on Whitgren here as far as his repertoire.
It is his major league debut. Low and away, Nick Whitgren is from Torrance, California, 24 years of age. Lafayette, Indiana, played at Purdue. Two and 0 to Rendon. Harper on deck, so you know they want this inning over right now. Ball 3. Adam Conley, 6 2/3. It was 4 hits, now it's 8.
He pitched well. Just ran into Steven Strasburg and a low liner off the bat of Jason Worth, and Wilson Ramos kind of hit the wall quick, but he pitched great.
Rendon taking all the way. Whitgren, a 9th rounder by the Marlins 4 years ago. And the count 3-1 to Rendon.
There you go. Warmer. Warmer.
Rendon, a good rip against the all-time Purdue saves leader. And the count goes to 3-2.
What if there's like 10 BP balls back there?
So Strasburg singles with 2 outs. Taylor doubles him to 3rd. I guess the good thing is if they're BP balls, they say practice on them. Rendon takes ball 4 and the bases are loaded. Bryce keeps looking over toward the Miami dugout.
Oh, he knows
They've got a left-hander throwing.
Yeah, he knows he's facing a lefty.
He's kind of walking and looking and walking. Chris Narveson. And finally Don Mattingly will come out. Maybe needed to give Narveson another toss or so. So the Nats have taken a 2-0 lead in big fly dramatic fashion. Maybe more coming up. 7th inning. That dugout got pretty excited on 2 long fly balls. Now the bases are loaded, and Chris Narveson will face Bryce Harper. First of all, the matchup. Harper 1-for-1 career with a double against him. 34-year-old lefty making his 6th appearance for Miami.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Cut the fastball on occasion. Fastball averages 89 miles an hour. 5 appearances, ERA at 9, 5 strikeouts versus 1 walk.
Bryce, the 8th Nat to bat here in the 7th inning.
The crew's getting larger out there trying to find Jason Worth's 200 ball.
Yeah.
But here comes this guy's got to be in
looks like
charge.
the boss.
Yeah, he's got to be in charge. They keep pointing toward Wilson Ramos. I just want to run out there and say, no, it's in the artwork. Did they get it? There's the ball. That's it. That's home run number 200. It went right in between those 2 lights. Great job, guys, of spotting it. And I know Jason Worth wants that baseball, so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We know where it is.
I just think it's lovely when you can combine baseball and art. It's just a special deal.
Well, that was an artistic homer.
Harper 0 for 3 tonight. Bases loaded. Low and away. Bryce, 16 RBIs. Tied coming into the day with Nolan Arenado for the major league lead. Ball 2. Strasburg got all this started with 2 outs after the Espinosa flyout. Then Taylor the double. Anthony Rendon a full count walk, taking a 3-2 pitch up, and it's 2-0 to Bryce. Changeup on 2-0. See if it breaks here, or it's a straight change.
He was locked and loaded.
Yeah, got away with a changeup up in the zone. Narveson wants Real Muto to come out. Yeah, remember the Nats score, at least coming into this game, almost 56% of their runs with 2 outs. Harper, right field. See you later. Grand slam for Bryce. 7th home run. RBI total jumps to 20. And the Nats shock Miami with 6 in the 7th. How about his 2nd grand slam of the year already? And his 2nd career.
He never had one till this year. Now he's got 2
in a week or so. Crazy.
Unbelievable. Miami Bryce striking for a quick 4 spot to make it 6-0.
3 homers in the inning. 6-0 Washington. Zimmerman takes one that goes right through the catcher. Ryan's the 9th man to bat in the inning.
3 Tater Eddie. This one a grand salami off the bat of Bryce Harper. And I think everybody at home was thinking it. I know we were. But it's not a video game, folks. He just continues to amaze.
20 RBIs, and it's game number 13 of the season.
I would love to be in that first base dugout right now. It's a small fiesta going on.
Zimmerman cranks one to right center. How far is this one going? Looks like another home run. That's over the new shorter wall. The umpires finally signal homer, and it's 4 in the inning for the Nats. 7-0. Ryan Zimmerman, first of the year.
I mean, this is taking, the line is moving to a whole new level. 4 home runs in the inning. And not a cheapie in the bunch.
Next up, Murphy. Oh, you knew it was a matter of time for Zimmerman. That's his 201st. One of the great barrages in any inning you will ever see.
And that's history. How many times they hit 4 home runs in an inning? In a ballpark that's not known for home runs.
Murphy hits one hard to left. Finally, the Marlins have a guy there. And the Nats come up with 6 runs on 6 hits and a walk to take a 7-0 lead.
Started this game in a big way, and what was a pitcher's duel all of a sudden turns into a slugfest out of nowhere. Daniel Murphy led off the inning with a fly out to center, and you're thinking, oh, whoever scores first wins this game. Nobody saw this coming. Jason Worth with a low missile out of here for his 200th career home run. Then the Buffalo goes deep off the top of the fence in left center field. Bryce Harper hits number 7, a grand slam. And then Ryan Zimmerman goes the other way. Unbelievable. Offense is cool, and that inning might have been the coolest.
The Nats go from 13 team home runs to 17 in 1 inning. Now Steven Strasburg back to work against Justin Bour. Strasburg 83 pitches, 58 strikes through 6 innings. Five, 6, 7 for the Fish. Bour, Ozuna, Real Muto. Rolls that one over. Ryan Zimmerman with the scoop with the glove, and Strasburg's there. Ryan never lost his cool, calmly scooping it to the pitcher covering.
Well, if you're scoring at home, score this 3-3 to 1. Like I said, no panic. It's not really how you score it.
Looked like Ryan was playing lacrosse right there for a second. And here's Ozuna. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit up the middle. And the 2-0. I mean, he's just blasting the fastball almost wherever he wants to tonight, whenever he wants to.
It's his game right now. He's trying to get the old finish line.
There's that heater overpowering Ozuna. Out of play, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Changeup got him. Strikeout number 9.
I'll tell you what, first time through was pretty much fastball, slider, curve, and then the second and third times through, especially the third time through, it's been fastball, changeup. And the changeup, we were talking about how he hasn't thrown the changeup a lot tonight. Well, he was saving it in his back pocket for the third time around. He got a really good feel for it right now.
Yeah, third time through the order. The Marlins are 1 for 6 with an infield hit. That ball's hit pretty well to right, but Bryce is there. And what an inning the 7th was for the Nats with the homer. Strasburg a hit, and then he gets a 1-2-3.
Jason Worth, +3 home runs. He'll do it to you every time. And just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Congratulations, Jason Worth, on home run number 200. A no-doubter, a low laser beam to put his team up 1-0, and you're thinking that was going to be enough. There's the home run. Some hugs from his little brother, Bryce Harper. I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of things in baseball, but that was impressive. 200 taters for Jason Worth. The ball's still there, too. They might have to airlift somebody in, rappel down with the roof open. to get that out of there.
Chris Narveson to Jason Worth. Worth against him, career 1 for 5. Chris Johnson is into the ball game, playing left field. Ichiro takes over in right. Don Mattingly knows his ball club has to face Joe Ross and Max Scherzer the next 2 days. So he's going to give some of his guys the rest of the evening off, and Derek Dietrich for D. Gordon at second. 1-1 pitch, and Worth out to center. Can you get locked in 2 at-bats?
Get locked in 1 inning.
Wilson Ramos, a towering homer last time up. So he's hit 2 this year, and his career total is 63. Ramos high in the air out to left center. Ozuna will make the grab for the second out. All right, let's check in with Dan's with our Coons.com sideline report.
Bob, a lot of loud noises for the Nationals last inning and some team history as well. This is the first time in Nationals team history that they hit 4 home runs in a single inning. Came in 8 batters, too. Pretty impressive stuff. And Bryce Harper, 0 grand slams in his first 517 big league games. Now 2 grannies in his last 6 games. Just needed to break through once, and now they're coming fast and furious.
And if you remember that stat, and by the way, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting at Coons. Bryce had been to the plate 27 times in his career with the bases loaded before he got that grand slam. And a topper down to third. Danny Espinosa hustling, but he is thrown out. We are through 7.5 in game 2 in Miami. It's all Nats. Masson, brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. By Night Point Systems, they offer the technology you need when you need it. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia Dealers, that's dckiadealers.com, to learn more.
7-0, going to the bottom of the 8th. See the Stars of tomorrow hit their 200th home run into that artwork just 30 minutes from Nats Park. Nationals are back in town April 26th through May 1st. Go to the website or call the number on your screen for more details.
Strasburg, 93 pitches, 65 strikes. Total command of that fastball tonight. And he faces Miguel Rojas, who's 0 for 2.
I mean, up and in, down and away, using all quadrants, and that's Chris Narveson on deck.
But a complete game for Strasburg in the sense that he's done everything you could possibly do as a pitcher tonight, from throwing all 4 pitches for strikes, having a good tempo, keeping his defense involved.
At him reaching. Danny Espinosa scoops and fires low. Ryan Zimmerman with a fantastic pick. And the Marlins see some stirring in their dugout on that one.
And his foot stay on the bag. I couldn't see right there. I think that's what they're asking, and I don't think Don Manny's going to challenge. To getting a few hits on offense. But in my mind, when you talk about the complete performance by Strasburg tonight, is when D. Gordon reached in the 3rd inning of a scoreless game, how well he did at managing the running game with 2 outs and still throwing strikes to Martin Prado. That might be one of the sneaky big points of this game, to keep it a 0-0 game, because if Gordon steals second right there, who knows?
Yeah.
Total package. Offense, all 4 pitches for strikes whenever, and controlling the running game. He's done everything.
Strasburg just kind of blowing and going against the opposing pitcher here. Chris Narveson, 25 career hits, .212 hitter, 13 RBIs. And he was able to react to the backdoor breaking ball at the very last second. That was dangerous. A line drive right over the Marlins dugout. Arrives at 100 pitches and throwing strikes about 70% of the time tonight. Yes, he said. And Strasburg, 10 strikeouts. Top of the order, and it'll be Derek Dietrich. They made all their changes straight up when they brought Dietrich, Johnson, and Suzuki into the game. Dietrich career against Steven Strasburg, 2 for 9 with a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. 22nd time in Strasburg's career, double-digit strikeouts. And the hook is perfect. Sean Kelly warming up. Strasburg's first 2 starts this year, 88 pitches and then 100, both against Atlanta. Just rolls over that changeup. Zimmerman races to the bag. Strasburg has retired 8 in a row. He's given up 1 hit since the 4th inning.
Ellenwood bringing all the lumber, and I wonder what we're going to show you. Well, we'll start with number 200 from Jason Worth. Just pured this one, knocked down 2-iron out to left center field. He's thankful for hitting 200 home runs. And then Wilson Ramos, the Buffalo, goes high deep tater off the top of the fence. So that was the second home run of the inning. And then the MVP decides to go grand salami. Look at Max Scherzer. Don't hurt yourself. Everybody fired up in that first base dugout. And then Ryan Zimmerman says, come on, I got to join this party too. So a home run party in the 7th inning. Everybody's invited. Just don't be the last one to leave.
Chris Heisey in the pitcher spot, so Steven Strasburg's done after 8. 104 pitches, 74 strikes.
You know that guy that just is sitting on the couch and party's winding down. Everyone's left already and you're just trying to be, hey, party's over, it's time to go. You were that guy, weren't you?
You've been that guy?
You've been that guy.
No,
Huh? Okay.
I got a rule. When 10 people are left, I'm out of there.
Lights are on.
Good to see Wilson Ramos check in, second of the year. Zimmerman his first. Chris Heisey walks away after a nasty curveball strikes him out.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to AppBapp Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Taylor rips one. Look out, Bob Henley. So Michael A. Taylor has suddenly come alive. 3 hits in the series and a walk. On base 3 times last night. So there's Yelich and D. Gordon getting the rest of the night off.
There's people chanting Homer, Homer. And he made it through that celebration. I love to see the passion. See a lot more relaxed swings all of a sudden.
One-two pitch. Taylor reaching out. Now the race is on to the bag. Rojas gets rid of it, and he's just out.
Everybody pointing toward the phone in the Nats dugout. Let's see.
I mean, it's so funny. 9 guys turn around and start pointing.
They all pointed toward the phone. Chris Spire, hold on. Take a look. What do you got? I thought he was out initially, but what do I know? Macedan is on the call behind. See it in the background?
The Nats are going to challenge.
We can't take the challenge with you. Why not? Dusty Baker trying to get Michael Taylor a hit.
Another night game tomorrow night. Joe Ross is 2-0. He's already beaten the Marlins once this year. A run on 7 innings April 10th. Yeah, he's got the name on the glove, and he's 2-0 with an 0.61 ERA. And the league only hitting 160 against Joe. Wei-Yin Chen is 0-0 in 2 starts with a 5.5 ERA. 1-3 career against Washington. Johnny and Ray, Nats Extra, 6:30. We join you at 7 o'clock from Marlins Park.
Just the end. Wow, I don't know.
Couldn't get through the night without one, right? He's out. It's good play by Miguel Rojas against a very speedy runner. Anthony Rendon will be trying to give Bryce Harper one more at bat tonight.
Yeah, if you're wondering why Dusty Baker challenged right there, he's trying to get his player a hit. You know, he's hustling down the line, he's playing hard for him, and you can't take the challenge in the Uber with you, so why not? try to get your player hit. I like it. Player's manager.
Anthony Rendon is the 9th net Chris Narveson faces here. Rendon career 0 for 1 against him.
That is the first time in Nats history with 4 taters in an inning.
What a ballpark in which to do it.
Yeah, who would have thought that? You're thinking Colorado, Cincinnati.
I'm just thinking about those 4 balls that were hit. Every one of them would have been a home run here last year, even with the fences higher and further back. Strasburg suddenly a road warrior. Three-one pitch. Harper bats again. Grand slam off Chris Narveson last time up, and now they're going to bring in Matt Dendecker to get an at bat. So some of the fans were chanting Harper, and Matt's like, wait a minute, it's me.
The Nats homered 3 times in an inning, 7 times before tonight. Last time in 2014.
Well, Matt Dendecker hearing chants of MVP right now. First career at bat against Chris Narveson.
I'm sure he's been the MVP at many levels. When you get to the big leagues, you got a dugout full of them.
Waiting for the breaking ball. Chopper right by the bag. And that's it for the Nationals in the top of the 9th. 7 runs on 10 hits, and all 7 came in the 7th inning. Pittsburgh about to go 3-0. 3 outs to get. Sean Kelly will get that assignment. Chris Heisey stays in to play left field. Matt Dendecker in right. And Stephen Drew gives Daniel Murphy an inning off at second base. So for Sean Kelly, it will be his 6th appearance, 3 2/3, 2 hits, no runs so far, a walk, 6 strikeouts. Martin Prado against Sean Kelly, strike 1.
Yeah, for Kelly this year, the fastball's been averaging 89.7 miles an hour, the slider 81.
79 just missing.
Fair ball down third base way for Anthony Rendon. Sidearm whip over to Zimmerman, 1 out. Johnny and Ray are standing by, and their legal pads are full. Tune into the Nats Extra postgame show, presented by WB Mason, when this one is over.
What's a legal pad? Do they sell illegal pads?
It's bigger than 8.5 by 11.
I want an illegal pad.
They used to be seen at libraries on campus.
Like I said,
just FYI.
Like I said, what's a legal pad?
Now it's Sean Kelly against Chris Johnson. Facing him for the first time. Sometimes it's a little unusual for 3 different starters to start the season 3-0. Last season, the Mets, Dodgers, and Blue Jays did it. But in the first 15 games of a season, how about the 1981 Oakland A's? Matt Keogh, Mike Norris, and a guy named Steve McCatty.
And what was the one common thread of those first 3 teams you mentioned last year?
All 3?
Yeah.
Playoffs.
They all went to the playoffs.
One of them to the World Series. Chris Johnson rips one foul.
I'm going to hang on that stat for 5 more months. That one stat.
Hang your hat on it.
I am. Dusty will too. This is about a, what do you think, 5 toothpick night? I'm going to ask him after.
Joe Ross tomorrow night. Wei-Yin Chen for the Marlins. Nats trying to go 10-3 here. And a drive up the middle, a base hit for Chris Johnson. Next up is Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro sitting on 2,939 hits. Will he get enough at bats to make it to 3,000?
Long season.
A lot of that will be dictated by how the Marlins as a team are doing. He's going to chop one left side. Rendon backhand drops it, and that should be, if the home scorer does what they usually do, 2,940.
Yeah, the old slap it down the left field line, the third base line. I think even if Anthony catches this, well, they just posted E5. I was going to say if he catches this cleanly, it's going to be close at first, and Ichiro might beat it out. I don't think Ichiro likes the call.
Yeah. Don't usually see that at home. Anthony Rendon, first error of the year. Some of the fans are booing the scoreboard right now. And here's Justin Bour. A drive to left, and Heisey right there. 2 outs. Marcell Ozuna, final hope for the Marlins. Ozuna, first career at bat against Sean Kelly. Steven Strasburg pitching as well now on a consistent basis as we've ever seen him. I mean, you know, we saw flashes, 2 or 3 starts at a time over the years, fall back a little bit, come back and do something, get hurt here and there. But I'm telling you, this stretch of pitching since last August, best extended stretch of his career, probably right there with 2012.
It's next level stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it might be as simple as being healthy and working things out of the DL the second time and talking to guys like Max Scherzer and asking him, should I throw my fastball more? Max telling him, trust your fastball, all this stuff that you talk to your teammates about. And we've seen it on display, and that was a good W here tonight.
Yeah, Ozuna not at all interested in running to first. The strikeout ends the ball game, and the Nationals blast away. You talk about a game and a half of quiet offense and then an absolute explosion. The Nats had scored 1 run in 15 innings of this series against Miami and then dropped a touchdown on them in the 7th inning tonight. So the Nats are even in the series, 2 hours and 38 minutes. Join us tomorrow night, Joe Ross and Wei-Yin Chen. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Ray straight ahead with a full half hour of home run and pitching highlights. See you later.